Before we do that, welcome to the Solidity Insurance Group team call. My name is Marisa Maggio, and I'm super excited to be on today with some of my favorite people being guests on this call, part of the team, and we just came off of an event. So it's June 19th of 2025. We're about halfway through the year, which is crazy to say. And a lot of us just came back recently from the Ignyte event in Phoenix. And I think it's just really important to dive in as to why these events help you. Like, it doesn't matter how they help me. It doesn't matter how they help. It matters how are they going to help you, right? Like what's in it for you at the end of the day. So I'm going to kind of go through a couple different people that were there. And guys, I wasn't trying to be biased. I was just trying to get a little sprinkle of everybody, so to say, that everybody can relate to. So I'm going to talk a little bit with Heather. I'm going to talk a bit with Danya. I'm going to talk a bit with Paul and with Vernon. So thank you guys all for being willing to jump on with me and, go through this. So I appreciate it. Now, guys, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? What is Ignyte? Ignyte is an event we just came off of. It was a sales training event. Bunch of people at Family First Life gathering together, typically within that vicinity or region. Now, I think it's pretty cool because I'm on the East Coast. A lot of you guys are here, there, everywhere. We know that, but we still made it out to Phoenix, and that's because, we want to make sure we're there for these events. So, Heather, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Marisa. Thanks for asking.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I figured you were, Heather. So, just to kind of hit the call off, I'm going to ask a series of questions, and it's just going to be a couple quick questions. Guys, what's in it for you on this call is trying to figure out where do you resonate or where does it make sense for you that the event makes sense? Because if the event doesn't make sense at this point, to be quite frank, I'm not doing my job. So, thank you all for helping me do my job. So, Heather, just to kind of hit it off, why did you decide you were going to go to Ignyte?
So just to start off, thank you, first of all, for asking my opinion, because that's all this is. It's our opinions, right? And who are we? Who are we? The important part is you guys have the opportunity to be independent business owners. And this is how my mindset is and why I've gotten to where I've gotten. We have the opportunity to be independent owners of our own businesses. We don't even have to put a lot of money up front for it, like a franchise. We don't have to do that. So why I went to this event is the same reason why I've gone to every single one from the February after I got my license, which was a convention. I didn't know squat about the industry. I went with a hope and a prayer, and not even because I didn't know what to expect. I remember, Marisa, I didn't even know you. Like I got just moved to an upline that I had no idea what even an upline was. I didn't know anything. And I went. And why I went to this past one is because it's a different reason than why I went to the first one. And every single one in between that I have the time to go to, and we'll talk about time later, I'm sure, right, Marisa?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As well as just honestly, it's just time because you're never going to have enough money. So put it in your head right now. The business is your business. You've got to get enough time, or you've got to fit it in your schedule to get to these events, I should say. You're never going to have enough time either, time or money. So why I went to this one, and I went before they asked me to speak. I went and then they asked me to speak. Or I registered and then they asked me to speak. I originally was going because every piece of nugget of information that I gather from these events, I write it down. I use your act. I put my actionable items in there. I figure out what I need to do, and then I implement them. And every time I've gone to one of these events, it's helped my business in some way. It might not be tripling every single time or something like that, but it's always given me a nugget of information that by not being there, you're not going to get. So I think that the answer to that was a long answer. Short answer is I go to them because I don't know what nugget of gold I'm going to find.
That's
Which is
right. I love that.
ironic since I'm in Alaska. It's the gold digging state. Just saying.
Hey, you might find a lot there. But guys, I love it. I love how you talked about essentially your reason for going to the first event isn't the same reason you're going to the next event. And guys, that's the point. It's like leveling up in your business, so you're doing different things in your business daily. Like that's a powerful place to be. And it's a powerful thing to feel when you're an independent contractor, because at that point you're in the driver's seat and you're taking control. Now I was going to ask, my next question was going to be, are you going to be attending the next events around you? But I can answer that for Heather. Like, yes, she is. Because like she just said, she's not confused. She's leveling up each time she's going to an event. Now, Heather, what was one of your biggest takeaways from Ignite that you implemented once you got home, now that it's been about a week or so?
Um, well, I learned a lot on a different level as a manager, and I'm trying to implement as much as I can, and I hate the word manager. For some reason, I can't get over the fact that that's the word. Um, Team leader, about
Sure.
how things are done and why it's good to do them, and then how to implement them in your team, as well as the camaraderie between the people that are there. Getting to know the people that are consistently at these events, they actually get to know you. Weird story. When I went up to Bill Greenleaf, and if you don't know who Bill Greenleaf is, it's because you haven't dealt with corporate in your bonuses, right? I go up to Bill Greenleaf because I heard his name. I'd never seen him before. And I said, I'm Heather Robeson. He said, I know who you are. I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, I was like, that's cool. And it's because, why is that cool? Because that means you're going to these events, they're seeing you all over the place, and that's going to help you in the future when you need something. But even if you don't need something, to kind of get yourself out there. And if you're afraid of getting yourself out there, get over it, because that's what's going to help you to grow bigger. And maybe you don't want to grow a team yet, but actually grow your issue paid bigger is by just continuously getting that activity in. And that's what it boils down to: activity on the Zooms, on your phone calls, at these events. Get that activity and make it a priority.
About that. And I think that one thing you just said, afraid to get myself out there, right? If you're on this call and you're like, I'm kind of like nervous, I'm introverted, like I can wholeheartedly relate to that. Like I was petrified the first time I went to an event. I was by myself and I was in Las Vegas for the first time and I was really young. I was horrified, but what did I have to lose? That was kind of what I thought about it. And it was like what I had to lose if I didn't go was a lot outweighed what I had to lose if I did go. And maybe nobody knew me. But what I realized at that first convention was, just like Heather said, a lot more people knew who I was than I expected. But above that, I was able to go up to a lot of people and be like, hey, I'm Marisa Maggio. It's great to meet you. I'm just getting started here. You're introducing yourself to somebody you never met. Now I can text Grady Polson and be like, hey, it's Marisa. I met you at Ignite. Like, I need help with this. Do you have 5 minutes? It's like, we met. I know you, right? Like, that's powerful. Same thing with the actual insurance carriers. Guys, we have representatives for each and every insurance carrier. When I go to an event, I make it a point to go up to the America booth, the Mutual booth, the Corebridge booth, and just say, hi. Hey, I'm Marisa. It's great to meet you, or it's great to see you, right? Because it's great when it's great to see you. That means they already know you. You're building that relationship. Should you need help with the carrier, it's great to know the rep. They know you, they know who you are, they know how you operate. So they're more likely to help you out. So even if you're thinking just from a standpoint of personal production, like get yourself there to be selfish, to make sure that you can have a hand up with the carriers. Now, with that being said, Heather, would you recommend your fellow teammates to go to the event and why? And what is one thing you'd want to share with the team from the event?
So of course, I recommend them. Everybody knows I do, because I do go to as many as I possibly can, because you get so many of those nuggets from them. And that's the answer. Everyone who stays home, everyone who thinks they can't afford a flight, everyone who doesn't take the moment to reach out to their teammates to see who wants to share an Airbnb, everyone who does that takes a lot longer to succeed. I'm not going to say you won't succeed. You might, but it's going to take you a lot longer. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to wonder why it's not working, quote unquote. When in reality, it's not working because you're actually just not following the steps. And one of them so simple, right? It's activity. Forget it's activity. Write enough business, get yourself a ticket, stop spending your money on stupid stuff. This is your business money. Get the ticket to the next event. Get it when it's on sale. Don't wait till the week before when it's $1,000. Know what's coming. You all know what events are coming up. You know what lock-ins are coming up. They're in Slack all the time. Convention, you should already have your ticket. If you plan on being here next year for January, if you think that you're going to be here and you're not going to crap out before then, you might even be a new agent on here and never even sold a policy. Get your ticket to the next event because you're dumb to wait. Sorry, I know I'm blunt, but you're dumb to wait. The ticket is actually a commitment from you to get to that next event. You buy your flight as soon as the flights are available. That's your commitment to yourself, to your family, to your business. Commit to yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that that's huge. It's like, guys, like everybody at the end of the day, in some way, shape, or form, is selfish. Like, be selfish for yourself in this business. Like, do things that you have to do, like, because it's going to help you get better, right? And then in turn, you're going to be able to help your teammates get better as well. So Heather, I appreciate you. I know me and you could sit here and probably talk for 3 hours about the events, so we're not going to do that. But I appreciate your feedback and just guys, it all goes back to activity at the event. Are you building relationships, getting uncomfortable, introducing yourself to different people that you never met before? Are you meeting your upline, your cross line, your friend, the people you see on Zoom? Who are you interacting with? What nuggets are you taking from each speaker? And are you implementing them after the event? So Heather, thank you so much for that.
My
Guys, don't be
pleasure.
afraid to get yourself out there. Appreciate you, Heather. All right, and I'm gonna pop right over if it's okay with you, Paul. Paul, how are you doing? We can't hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
How
How's
you doing,
everybody?
Paul?
How's it going?
Good. So, guys, I wanted to just like I always like to insert positive things. I think it's important. It's like when people show up and like they're there and they're miserable, like that's like really not like honestly a fun person to be around. Now, whether Paul is like faking it, like, and he's like all low key miserable, like all day, every day, which would be really hard for me to believe. Because like we all see Paul on Zoom, he typically is like has a smile on his face and it looks like a really like a happy person. And I respect that just because like it's not easy to wake up every day and to be happy, just flat out like that. Not everybody can do that. So Paul, I appreciate you. And also every event I've ever walked into that Paul was at, which is pretty much every event that we've done since Paul's gotten started. He always is smiling. He's always welcoming. He's always talking to his teammates. He's always getting to know people. So I really just wanted to have different feels. So Paul, thank you so much for being on with me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Now, just to kind of hit off the call, this was not your first event, which is, awesome to see as you're moving forward and getting started. But talk to us a little bit about, what pushed you to go to Ignyte and, like, why did you decide to go?
I think it's like a recharge, right? Like if you went to the first event, the big convention, you get hyped up, you get that energy, and you're learning those little things, and then you sometimes you kind of dwindle down a little bit. I work with Vern all the time, so he's always pumping me up, but you kind of dwindle down. So this Ignite kind of really reinvigorates you and gets you kind of focused again. And then always getting those nuggets, right? I think every event we go to, every event I've been through, even the lock-in, I've gotten like a nugget from Dom, from Trey, is just some things that I can incorporate and just try to build off. So
I love that. It's like those little everyday things that seem like they don't matter much, but then when you change them, you're like, oh, this works, right?
yeah,
So love seeing you there. And then what was one of the biggest things that you took away from Ignite that you already implemented or you're going to implement into your business?
I think it's just being consistent and time. Just really waking up at a certain time, starting at a certain time, and just trying to be consistent with it. And then just staying focused, having that positive energy. I'm a very positive person. Of course, everybody has those downs, but really just not doubting yourself and just thinking every morning I always talk to myself like, hey, you're gonna do it, you're gonna kill it. Doesn't matter what happens, just keep calling, just keep dialing. Not to say that that doesn't happen because we went to an event I think with Sean Mike and Noel was talking about when we're dialing and we get nervous. And that was a huge, big, like, aha moment for me because I was like, holy crap, I'm feeling just like that. I don't have that anxiety as much anymore. I still got some tweaking to do, but that anxiety of initially calling, I don't have that because Noel was like, he was saying, I feel like that. And I'm like, holy crap, everybody feels like, like that. They go through that motion, and Vern was the same way. He was like, you're gonna feel like that. It's gonna happen. So
Absolutely. And I think that that's just like a huge thing, right? It's like you hit on so many things, like being consistent, staying focused. It's like, guys, these are like the basic things that as human beings, like we're all human, like that we're expected to kind of deviate from, if you will. And it's like if we don't deviate from them, there's going to be a big reward. If we do, we know we have to kind of pay the price, so to say. And I love how you talked about, like the self-affirming and affirmation, right? It's like you couldn't have that much, I don't think, at least. I mean, like, I'm not a scientist, but like you couldn't have that much positive energy like if you just moped around like all day and you didn't tell yourself positive things about the day, about what's going to happen, about what things look like, right? And that can be a really scary space to be in. So it's like you're waking up, you're making sure you're talking good to yourself, you're taking nuggets a little bit here, a little bit there, making sure you're staying consistent and focused. And I love, Paul, how you said it's like a recharge from convention, because that's kind of how I view it too. It's like that in the middle, like kind of let's just get this bump back up to where we need. And it's a positive place to be. And then even bringing up how Noel, was bold enough, to tell Sean, like, this is how I feel. That example, I don't think, even Noel, like, I love you, man. I don't even know, you might realize like how big of an impact that helped other people. It's like, because not everybody was going to be willing to say to Sean, like, hey, this is how I feel. But at the end of the day, I always tell agents when they're getting started, if you don't feel a little bit nervous, like a little bit nervous, like it's weird. I'm nervous. Like you should be nervous, like you never did it before. So it would be weird if you weren't nervous, right? But being able to walk yourself out of that and bring yourself to that headspace is huge. So I love that, Paul. And after going to a couple of events, a few lock-ins, like you've been to quite a few events, which I love to see, would you recommend your fellow teammates to go to the next event near them? If so, why or why not?
I say absolutely. I mean, there's things that you learn, and techniques that you learn from other people, and it's not necessarily, people that are selling at a high clip. It could be like the person who's just starting and they say something differently. You're like, holy crap, that sounds good. Or hearing from, like I said, Dom, like he gave a situation where he was like, this is what you need to be like, this is how you say it. And it just helps. I think all these events and these little things, as you get them, are really huge. But the main thing is like just building off of that and all the things you learn from these events, actually utilizing them. That's the big thing, is utilizing what you learn, those nuggets. Because again, if they're just nuggets in your pocket, they don't mean crap. So you really just want to make sure you're utilizing those tools and utilizing those things. And I'm just try to grow. Obviously, I've got a lot of space to grow, but that's how you have to do in this business, is to grow.
I love that. And I love how you brought up, like, you hear different people say things like the same thing, but a different way. It might resonate more with you. You might be, oh, that hits different. That sounds different. That's the emotion I'm trying to evoke or not evoke, right? And then also how you said building off of it. Guys, like we can take the best notes in America. Like I was like so guilty of this, like after college. I was like, oh, great. Like now I just get to take notes. And I'm not going to be tested on them. It's like, well, actually, like no one's going to give you a standardized test, but every single day we're being tested on them. So it's like, are you the person that goes to the event, takes notes and puts the notebook away and never sees it again? Or are you the person that goes to the events, takes notes, and then comes home, digests the notes, and implements the things that they want to, right? So I love how you said that. We got to use the nuggets. If they're just in your pocket, not going to help you out, but if you pull them out, boom, things change. And Paul, you're off to an amazing start, and I just really love to see it happening and you growing through it. It's awesome. Is there anything else you'd want to share with the team about anything?
I think the biggest thing one of the big things I took away from Ignyte was the referrals, like how to get free leads. That was so huge for me, on how to get free leads from the people you're already helping, asking them, saying that, if there was an emergency, who are the 5 people that we need to contact, just in case something happens, who are those 5 people, and building off of those 5 people. That's free business. There was a couple of people who really spoke to that, and I was like, oh, that's huge. Like you can really get free leads off of one client, 5 people. That's big money right there. So
Absolutely. And I love that last tip. Guys, referrals are everything. It's free leads. If we all, myself included, because I am guilty as charged of not asking for referrals, if we all just changed a little bit and started asking for referrals at the end, even if we got one from every 5 people we talk to, that's huge because you already did business with the person. They trust you, they like you, they're going to refer you to their friends and family. And you would also be surprised how one referral can sometimes lead to another, lead to another, lead to another, lead to another. Because they're those kind of that type of person that's willing to share things with their friends and family. Hey, check this out, see if it's for you, right? So love that tip on referrals. Referrals are essentially free leads if we're willing to ask for them. So thank you for sharing that, Paul, and thank you for your feedback. I appreciate you. All right. So next I'm gonna Danya, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
So Danya, I hadn't had the chance to meet Danya since until Ignite, and it was awesome to meet Danya. When I saw Danya in person, I was like, just wanted to just like keep hugging her. But she was like exactly who I, pictured on Zoom, and it was just great that actually put the face to the person and be able to talk to you and spend some time with you. So Danya, thanks for being on with me today. I really appreciate you. Now just kind of jumping into, I'm going to ask, guys, these are redundant questions for a reason because everybody's going to have a little bit of a different answer. Like that's my point here. All right. So rock with me. Okay. Danya, why did you decide to go out to Ignite?
Well, the main reason was because I wanted to meet Christina, but that's a different story. I'm just kidding. So
What
for me,
about
it was like a
me?
no-brainer. Yes, of course, well, everyone, but you know
I'm
what I mean.
only
She's my
kidding.
upline, so I was like, I have to meet you. I kept telling her for months, like, we have to meet each other. But anyway, for me, it was like a no-brainer because I live 4 hours away, so it was something that I was able to drive through, even if I had to get up really early. Um, and ever since I went to the lock-ins, I've noticed like how important it is for you to actually go because Zoom is great and everything, don't get me wrong, but actually meeting people who are doing what you want to do, like seeing it for yourself, because in my opinion, it's like I grew up like with not I don't want to say a broke mindset, but everybody that I knew around me that had money or that was making like over 20K a month, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but they were drug dealers. So for me, like in my head, it's like the only way that I could probably make that money is if I like go to college and do this and this and this. But I was in the situation where I couldn't even go to college in the moment. So um short long story short, when I found this, I was like, oh my God, like this, like it makes your mind open up to possibilities that you never thought. And when you actually see it in person and see like people that are like 20 years old, 22 years old, and they're like, they have like this big agency and they were able to build it like in 2 years and all of this, like it changes your mindset that like, oh, like you like I could do this too, you know what I mean, like I could actually do this. And I do feel like relationships are like the main thing, like you never know who could open doors for you, or maybe you could open doors for someone. Like I actually met a girl at Ignite who she saw a video on TikTok and just decided to go. Like she didn't have an agency, nothing, and she actually sat like I do think that God does things for a reason. Like they either puts you in someone's life because you need them or they need you. Like I don't think it's like a, a coincidence. I really feel like it happens for a reason. So I could talk to a tree, okay? So I'm not embarrassed to talk to anybody. Like I love people. So I started talking to her, and then when she told me what like that she had seen a TikTok video, and that she just decided to go, but like she didn't even know where to start. She was like trying to get licensed on her own. I was like, girl, I know so many people that could put you like in a good situation. So right away, like I introduced her to Christina. See, freaking Christina, to Marissa and Rami and everyone, and now she's trying to get licensed and to work with us. So I think about it, I was like, maybe if I wouldn't have been there, maybe like that, she wouldn't have been in that opportunity, in that been open to that opportunity. You know what I mean? So you never know. Like if you go to events like this or lock-ins, like you could actually meet people that may help you, or you may help other people. Like you never know.
I love that. And Danya, I love how you led with it was only 4 hours away. Guys, if something's 4 hours away and you can get next to the fire, like you get there, like period. So Danya, way to do it. Get there. I know it's not easy. You have kids, you're married, you got a whole lot going on, but you're not making that an excuse. So I respect that heavily. And I also love how you said, I think this is important because like I don't know if I should call it a broke mindset. I call it a limited mindset. That's what I say. I say growing up I had a limited mindset, like in broke, limited, whatever. Meaning like am I worthy enough to make that much money based off of the skills that I have? That's essentially what we're asking ourselves. But it's like just like Danya said, when I was getting into this industry, until I actually saw it in front of me, it was really difficult to believe that I could earn, 20, 30, 40, 100 grand a month. Like, but you see it and then you're like, wait, like, no, really, why not me? Like, really, why not me? Like when you see it, it's real, right? It's like when the pandemic came, it was real, right? Like it was the first time that at least I was alive that there was a pandemic. It was a real thing, right? Like when you see it happening, and I was out in the field because I was an essential worker, and no one else on the road. I was like, okay, like, oh, this is happening. Like I can avoid the news as much as I want, but like this is happening, right? So guys, we can avoid what everybody says on the calls, on when you're sitting at your house or you're sitting on Zoom, but when you're face to face with people, it's really difficult to be like, oh, I can't do that. Unless you're going to make excuses like as to why you're not good enough, right? I think it just really validates, like, to be honest, like there were a bunch of imperfect people helping a lot of people. Like that's how I've always looked at us in the business. And I think that that's a blessing because when you're imperfect and you went through adversity, I think it speaks volumes versus if you just kind of walked through life and everything was just always handed and given to you. So Danya, thank you for sharing that. Because I think that that's important. And I know that you're not the only person that feels that way or felt that way. Also how you met a recruit. The probability or the odds of just going into Ignyte and randomly sitting next to somebody that watched a TikTok video, hadn't done any outreach to anybody, and this person decided that they were going to go to the event. Now, I don't care if she lives in Phoenix. I don't care if she lives in Jacksonville, Florida, okay? Like, it doesn't matter where she lived. It was the fact that she saw an opportunity and she just went. Like, she didn't care. I think that speaks volumes about her character. And then Danya goes there, she sits next to her, and Danya be talking to everybody, which I love, by the way, because not everybody has that skill either. And Danya's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, I'm just checking this thing out. And then Danya ends up, recruiting this girl, and it could potentially change her life for both of them, right? But goes back to God's plan. So I'm with you there, Danya. I love that. And thank you for just always just being you. Even when I met you, you were just authentically yourself. And I think that that's something that's amazing. Now, what's one thing you learned there that, you're definitely going to come home and implement or you've already implemented?
So definitely the referrals, like Paul said. This one girl was talking about how, I don't remember her name, but she was saying that she does about 50K, like, issue paid a month, and she only spent, like, I believe she said like $2,000 on
Yeah, I was
leads.
going to say 2 grand, she said, yeah.
Yeah, and everything is a referral. And what she said that she does is that, like, after she sells the policy, she gets a group chat together with the beneficiary, the client, and herself, obviously, and she introduces herself, and she tells them like, hey, like, I'm taking care of like your dad, whatever, uncle, friend, whatever it is. And that has opened many doors for her because the the beneficiary, already trusts her because obviously they're working with their loved ones. You know what I mean? So it's already like, it's easier for you to get your foot on the door when someone already has like trust in you because you're helping someone that they love. It's just easier. So she does a lot of that, and she says that, like, yeah, like she'll even tell like her clients, like, hey, if it's vets, she'll be like, hey, please let your vet friends know about me, this and this. So I think that's great, and I actually did that. And I have 2 appointments with some of the kids that of the policy that I sold, like their kids,
Let's
so was their
go.
beneficiary. Yeah, so I feel like that's something great because even if it's so small, like I never thought about it. And when she said, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like I always tell them, let your son or your daughter, whoever it is, know about me, like pass on my number. But like, why not just get them in a chat and you do it yourself? You know what I mean? Like, just like no brainer.
Absolutely. And I think that that's just like a huge one, guys. Like at my practice company where we didn't have leads, if you didn't get referrals, like you were going to be broke. Like, congratulations. Like, you only got like 5 leads like a month. It was crazy. My whole point is Danya, that's an awesome way to look at it because it's like, now, like, be clear. Are me and Danya sitting here saying, hey, everybody should only spend 2 grand on leads and like write referrals? Well, no, that's going to be difficult. But once you build your book, you're able to scale that back. That's a beautiful thing. So I love, Danya, how you already implemented it and you're like, I have 2 appointments because you weren't scared to just ask, right? You're like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if I ask? They say no,
Oh,
right? Like, that's about it, right? And they couldn't get any worse than that. And they're just like, no, like, no, we're not, which would be really weird, guys. Like, these are their beneficiaries. So, like, let's be clear. And then last thing, Tanya, would you recommend your teammates to go to the next meeting near them? If so, why or why not?
yes, like especially if there's like even lock-ins, like go because you're gonna meet people there. Like I said, that could not only open doors for you, but you're also gonna learn so much. And I feel like everything, like in the beginning when I started, I felt so nervous, even doing phone calls, like I was just horrible. I would avoid phone calls in general. Like I used to tell my sister, hey, can you make an appointment for me? Because like I hated talking on the phone. So when you meet people and then you hear their story sometimes and then you see that they were probably in a position that was worse than yours and now they're like, doing amazing, have a great team. It just I don't know, it just hits you differently. Then you just have to go. And then once you go, you're gonna see and you're gonna be like, oh, that's what they're talking about. And then you're always gonna want to go, you know? I feel like it's the best thing for you, especially if you see yourself being in the industry for like long term. Like you want to get to these things, like they're gonna help you no matter what. Like you're not gonna go home and be like damn, why did I go? You know what I mean? Unless you like don't talk to anybody, because I did make that mistake in Vegas. I was really nervous because I didn't know anybody there, and I kind of like I don't want to say I isolated myself, but I kind of did. And I remember like telling Christina that like I just I felt really overwhelmed. And but then when I thought about it, I was like, it was my fault because I made myself feel that way. Like I should have just gone and talk to everyone like I usually do. You know what I mean? It was more like, yeah, it was like weird. Don't make it weird. Just like people are there to help you, people are there to share their things with you. Like no one's hiding anything. And then you get to get their number and bug them if you ever need them, which is the great thing.
No doubt. And I love how you said like, meet people and hear their stories, right? It's like, guys, like you might be like, I'm in a tough situation, and you very well may be in a tough situation, but sometimes hearing other people's situations and seeing how they're going through it versus how you're going through your situation can sometimes push us as people just to be that much stronger through our own situation. So I think that that's a really powerful, place to be. And also, like you said, if you're going to be here long term, get to the events. Like, if you plan to be here, just like kind of how Heather also led with, like, if you plan to be here, like, why are you not registered for convention? It doesn't make sense. Like, Donnie's like, if you plan to be here, get to the event. And also, I love how you're like, hey, I'm not perfect, fall on the sword, so to say. First, me and you talked a little bit at Ignite about, you'd said like you used to have your sister call, like, and make your doctor's appointments. And I was like, yeah, I used to have Christina like call in like my takeout order because like I used to be scared to call like the food delivery place. And like, I'm not kidding. Like she'd be like,
Oh,
what do you want? And I'd be like, she's like on the phone, like, what do you want? And I'm like, oh my God, you're supposed to have it written down and planned out before you call the pizza place. Like, what's your problem? Like, you're giving me anxiety. But guys, then you see a different perspective, and somewhere along the way, like that shifted for me, right? And I was like, okay, like call the pizza place. Like they can wait a second if you want pepperoni or if you don't, right? And I think that that really
oh,
just comes back to how we kind of handle day to day. But also, Diane, how you were able to be like, you know what? I isolated myself in Vegas at the lock-in, and I made myself feel that way. It wasn't like people were telling me, I don't want to give you advice. I don't want to help you. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't care what your name is. You were like, hey, I just kind of isolated myself and, like next time I won't do that, right? And that's also like part of it, guys. Like, no one's perfect, especially not me, okay? And what I will say is I've isolated myself at events too, especially early on, or if I'm in an environment where I don't know that many people, so to say, it's like it's easy to do that. But the best thing you can do, just like Danya said, is just be you, get out there, talk to people, get some advice, because that's what you're there for. So I appreciate you sharing, Danya. And is there anything else you'd want to share?
Yes. So I did not know this agent named Nicole. She was talking about how I think I'm the only like 29-year-old that doesn't have social media. But she was talking about how everything she does, like for recruiting, is on social media, and how she pretty much just copies other videos that have gone viral. And she pretty much just copies and pastes them to her TikTok, and that's how she grew. And I was like in my head, like, oh my God, like that's so right now, currently, I'm also working on like getting because I don't have any type of social media whatsoever. And I'm like, so right now I'm trying to get my TikTok, Instagram, everything going, because it's everybody always said like I regret not recruiting earlier. Like you always wait until you're good enough, because that was my mentality too. And then everybody that was up there that was talking about it, because they talked a lot about recruiting, everyone said like, I wish I would have done this earlier. Like I wish I would have recruited, I wish I wouldn't have waited. And that was like a big thing for me, because I kept thinking about it. I was like, why would I recruit if like I'm not even where I want to be at? You know what I mean? But you could tell them that. Like I told the girl, I was like, you know what? Like I'm not where I want to be at. We could grow together, but I could put you in contact with people that are gonna show you everything that you want to that you need to learn. Like any question you have, they're gonna be like the best people to help you. So maybe, yeah, you're not in the place where you want to be, but you could open doors to them with people that are already there, you know? And it's like, why not do that? Like, just you could be honest with them. Like, whoever wants to do it is gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like if they're gonna be like, oh, because she's not like selling every day. It's like you could probably be better than me, like you never know. But I could put you with people that are gonna teach you everything, and that you're gonna figure it out. And this could be life changing. Like you never know.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that because first of all, guys, like I think if you're not on social media, like that's okay. Like to be honest, like if it wasn't for this business, like I probably wouldn't be on social media either. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't love Instagram, Facebook. I don't love any of them, okay? There's some funny stuff on there, but it's like to me it's time consuming that like I could put it other elsewhere. Now, if we can use the social media, and this is just how my brain works, if we can use the social media to help our business, okay, that makes sense. Like, let's use it, but like, let's use it appropriately. So, Danya, that makes me really happy to hear that you're gonna start, building out your social medias, and also, guys, like, talk about the humbleness. Like, and I'm just keeping it like 100% honest. 99% of the people, Danya, that were sitting in that room would not have been able to say to the person you met, like, hey, I'm not doing as good as I want to be right now, but like I can put you in touch with the right people who are doing it, right? And we can learn together. Talk about like humbling yourself. Danya could have been like, well, since I've been here, I made this, and she could have acted like it was something that it wasn't. And that's sometimes where we get in trouble, guys, okay? Is when we're like, oh, I'm making, 500 grand a month. And like, you're not making 500 grand a month. So don't tell people that, right? But Danya humbled herself enough to be able to be like, hey, I might not know everything, like, but they know a heck of a lot more than I do. And all of us together, like, we got this thing. So I love that. And hearing like the I wish I didn't wait, I wish I didn't wait. Guys, coming from somebody who's been in the industry for 9 years, not all of a family first life, it's like don't wait. Like you're gonna kick yourself in the butt. If you're waiting for yourself to get good enough, just like Danya said, it's like honestly, that's not fair to the people around you. And Danya, I also believe that God does things and puts people in places for certain reasons. And I think that maybe one of those reasons was because you are really social. And if you talk to people, like they're going to like you, Danya, and you could build a team really quickly, in my opinion. So I'm excited for you. I appreciate you sharing, and it means the world to me. And meeting you and hugging you was everything. So thank you, Danya.
I know, same. Thank you guys.
Of course. All right. Now, like before, like I just want to go ahead and be like, Like I want to be like I told Vernon like we should call the fire department. I was gonna send the fire department out to his house yesterday. All right. Now, like before, like I just want to go ahead and be like I want to be like I told Vernon like we should call the fire department. I was gonna send the fire department out to his house. I was gonna send them all, you know. I was thinking like should I play like Lil Wayne Fireman when I put Vernon on, you know, but then I was like, I don't know, he might get mad at me. But Vernon, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm like, and guys, if you are like, why is she talking about Fireman and Vernon? Like, if you didn't see Vernon's numbers yesterday, Vernon, what did you write yesterday?
I submitted 21K yesterday.
Submitted 21,000 yesterday. Like, let's go. Like, that's awesome. Like,
Thank
way
you.
to
Appreciate
inspire people. So, Vernon,
it.
I appreciate you being on with me today. You know, I feel like I'm always like this, like I'm like like the loudest person, but then when I talk to Vernon, I feel like I gotta like take it down a notch. I'm like, Marisa, chill. Like that's what my inner self is telling me. But Vernon, as always, it was really good to see you, even though it was short-winded. It's always good to see you, see that smile on
Yeah.
your face, give you a hug, all that good stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But with that being said, Vernon, tell us a little bit about what made you go to the event this year.
Sure. So the same reason as Danya, I went to see Christina, but Christina didn't show up. So it is what it is, right? All right. No, I'm just kidding. No, I went to the event. So my initial reason why I went to the event, one, it's in my backyard. So, obviously I have to show up anyway because it's so close. But I wanted to take my team, all right? I have a small team. It's going to be growing as time goes on. But I wanted to take my team and have them soak up that information and the knowledge of what we're going to go through.
Vernon, I think you froze.
Paul, do you
All right,
lose Vernon?
Yeah, I think we did for a second, but I'm sure he'll be right back. I'm gonna text him. But guys, as we're walking through this, while we're waiting for Vern to get back, it's like this isn't me trying to pressure y'all. This is me telling you guys like how we've all learned, and I think that that's really powerful. You know, it's like, did I learn everything at Ignyte? No, but I learned what I needed to learn to get to the next level of my business, and like that's what's important, right? Vernon's back. All right.
How about that? As soon as I started talking, everything froze.
I was gonna say, so guys, like how you were
Okay.
saying, it was really good experience to be able to take your team, and that's where we
Right.
kind of lost
It's
you.
So being able to take my team is, I told my brother when we're going there, I said, hey, I just want to take you guys there. I've been to a few of these events, conferences and whatnot, and I'm not sure what I'm going to learn today is different from before, which we're going to get into in a little bit. I was wrong, thank goodness. But I took my team because when you're sitting down with your team at an event and you're looking to the left and you're just seeing the tears flowing, right, where the vision is like, the aha moments are happening, right? And whatnot, because they can resonate with someone on the stage who either looks like them or walks like them or has the same background as them. Maybe they came from alcoholism or drug addiction or this or that or whatever, right? Whatever they got through, maybe they're single moms, right? And they're playing mom and daddy role, right? So I know like Nicole and some other people on here who are playing wearing two hats, right? And so it's like when you see somebody on stage who has done what you've been through, it's like somehow the tears just start flowing. And I like to see that because change doesn't happen unless there's an emotional attachment to it. Just like you can't sell a policy to someone that there's no emotional attachment. Why are you getting this policy today? Why are you getting this coverage? What's the reason? And usually it's my significant other, or maybe it's my kids, or maybe it's my sibling who can't work for his or herself, and I just need to make sure I can provide for him or her, right? Because maybe they're disabled or whatever it might be, right? Everybody has their own story. So when I go there and I know that I feel emotion, but when I'm watching and looking over my team and they're feeling it too, I know that there's a chance that they could figure out how to turn their life around and make the best of that situation and get out of their maybe financial stupor that they're in and be better, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I like to go to these events is to just get that emotional charge and see others recognize something and see if they can, and because only it just takes one person to be on stage that makes you want to be better. And as long as they see that person and hear that person, then you never know what's going to happen from it, right? So that's one of the ways to see my team get to.
Vernon, you're getting choppy on us again.
Yeah, it's
Vern, I think we lost you a little bit. All right, something tells me Vernon's going to be back in just a second. I'm like Wi-Fi issues every time I get on a call. That always happens to me too. So I get it, Vernon. No worries. But like he just pushed a lot there. I want to like even pause there like real quick. It's like he said, okay, I have my team there. Basically, I thought I was going there for just for my team, which Vernon's going to share how it was also, in a selfish way, which is a good thing because I go there to get what I need, but also what I need for the team. And change doesn't happen without emotion being evoked. Change doesn't happen without emotion being evoked. Like change doesn't happen without emotion being evoked. Sitting there and seeing stuff with your team, like seeing them like, okay, wow, I'm actually resonating with this person. Wow, I'm actually getting this. Wow, I tried to drill this into somebody's head and tried to help them so many times with this. But now this person just got on stage in 5 minutes, explained it, and now they're like, boom, like mind boggled moment. So it's like, you never know who you're going to resonate with. So it just takes that one person, like Vernon was saying. All right, so Vernon, you were like, it's an emotional charge, right? And it just takes that one person for you or a teammate to resonate with to make it all worth it.
100%. I'm so sorry. The Zoom guys are not liking me right now. I apologize. So
No, you're
yes,
good.
yeah, that's one of the major reasons why I go is this is my team at that next level. Yep.
Absolutely. And guys, it's like when you're trying to get to that next level and you see your teammates like that, like there's just no better feeling. Like there's just no better feeling. You're like, it's gonna change for them today. It's gonna change for them today. Now what was one of the biggest takeaways that you had, Vernon, coming back from Ignite that you're gonna implement or you've already implemented?
Oh, you guys saw me. I've implemented something for sure.
I was gonna say,
So,
it seems like it.
all right. So let me take a quick step right back, right before we went to Ignite. I think it was like Ignite was like a Friday or Saturday, and I think on Thursday I unmuted
Yep.
myself and I said, "Hey Jesse, get them to the closing line. Right? I can't get them to submit applications." And I was like, "What am I doing wrong?" And he goes, "Bernie, you just need to simplify your process. Just simplify everything you're doing. You have so much information in your head, but it's too much for the clients, right? So if you just simplify things, you're going to get them to the finish line a lot easier." And I said, "Okay, so let me simplify. What can I take out? How can I trim the fat?" And then we went to Ignite, and then there was somebody on that talked about IULs, and they said the same exact thing. Hey, just simplify your process. And I was like, okay, so that's twice in 2 days that I've heard a top producer, right? Because obviously we know Jesse's a Hall of Famer, and the person on stage as well talked about simplicity. So I literally just went to the drawing board and I said, and can I go through what I did to simplify my process? And whoever's selling
Yeah.
IULs, you could use this if you want to. If
Yeah,
not,
please.
know, what you do. Right.
Vern, we're losing you again.
So I learned that
You're back.
when I'm getting on the phone with my clients, they already got me.
And now we lost you again, Vern.
Do you see it again?
Now I can hear you. Just kidding. I can't hear you anymore.
I'm so I don't know what's happening. This never happens.
Well, now you're loud and clear. Now you're loud and clear.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Okay.
No, it's not. I've been in your shoes. Don't worry about it.
All right. So I want to go through my process for some of the people because I've been getting a lot of random text messages. What are you doing? How are you on such fire? What have you been doing different? Right. So I simplify my process. So anyone who wants to write this down, you can write it down, use it if it makes sense for you. A lot of you know I'm former, I'm a veteran, Air Force veteran, and we learn by bullet points, right? And so for me, if you give me a bunch of paragraphs, I'm going to lose myself. I'll get nervous. But with bullet points, it just makes things a lot simpler. So when I get on the phone with a client, maybe they know it's life insurance, maybe they don't. They just know that they want to grow compounding interest in some form. So when I get on the phone, the first thing I'm going to ask is 3 questions. Are you looking for something with unlimited cash accumulation? Of course, you go, yeah, of course, why not? Or are you looking for something that's tax-free? You don't have to pay any taxes on any of that growth. Yeah, of course. I mean, you have something like that, please tell me more. And then the third question I'll ask is, do you want something that has zero chance of loss? So I ask those 3 questions, and these are all easy questions, just like what is your name, what's your birthday, right? And they should be saying yes to all 3. So once they do that, then I go, okay, it looks like this might be a good fit for you. But are you going to qualify for this? So I'll say the next thing I'll go over is, all right, so you have to qualify for this. Not everybody qualifies. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Do you have anything going on with you health-wise that you think would stop you from getting approved for a plan like this? Well, what do you mean? And then I'll go through heart attacks, strokes, stents, things of that nature, right? All the different type of health situations, DUIs, bankruptcies, and such. So we'll go through it. Say with no hesitation, they're saying, nope, none of those things. Oh, I have one high blood pressure medication I'm on. That is it. Height, weight's good, BMI is good. So once I do that, then the next thing I'll talk about is budget. So what I said, the next thing I say is, look, if I send you my Zoom link, that's a key thing for most people on here. We don't use Zoom, and you should. I say, if I give you my Zoom link, would you be willing to jump on Zoom with me so I can build this out for you? And most people will say yes. So I send them my Zoom link through text or email. They get on Zoom with me. I say, hey, you don't even have to show your face if you don't want to. I just want to build this thing out and make you see the numbers. We're creating it right there in front of me. So I'll literally go on, give them my Zoom link, we get on, and then I literally will open up F&G or open up Miracle, whoever I'm going to be going with. And then I'll just build out the policy or the illustration right there in front of them. They can see their name, they can see all that stuff. It's not me just making up random numbers, right? And so as they see it, we start messing around and changing numbers around and tweaks it to where they want to be at. Now, I also go, hey, so at the end of the day, what's your, when we try to figure out your budget, I use a 10X rule. Whatever age range you're in, we're going to multiply that by 10. And that should be the recommended starting point of what you should invest. And I use the word invest into this type of plan. And I still haven't said it's a life insurance policy. So I'm still just saying we're investing in a plan, whether they know it's life insurance or not. Because some people go, oh, life insurance, I already got life insurance. And then I have to bring it back off the ledge and go, well, what do you have? If it's a term, you're not investing in anything. All right, if it's a whole life, you're not investing in anything, right? So I have to bring it back. But I try not to use the word life insurance until I absolutely need to. I'm just building this thing out. So I'll say if you're in your 20s, you should start out at no less than $200 a month. If you're in your 40s, $400 a month. If you're in your 60s, $600. That's my recommended starting point. So that's what allows me to get them to think bigger, which is what allows me to write these bigger premiums. And I'll go, hey, look, I have a policy that I pay $1,000 a month into mine. Not saying that you need to pay that. For you, that might not be a big deal. I don't know what your budget is. But if it is, right, that's just somewhere where I'm going to, I just want them to think bigger than where they're at. Because at the end of the day, if they think bigger and they're investing in it, it's really going to go to their family. Their family's winning, and then they're winning because they're having these bigger policies. So the compounding interest is going to grow even more, right? So that's what I want to go with next, is figuring out what that budget is, and then creating that illustration so they can literally see this thing play out. And as soon as we go over it and I pinpoint, here's what growth's like in year number 1, year number 5, year 10, year 20, it goes all the way into age 120. So you're not going to outlive this thing, right? Once we get to that point there, then once I'm done with that, I say, all right, so we're going to submit an application on your behalf today. And I just need to get the insurance company. It might take 1 to 2 weeks to get approved, but we just need to get this process going. Once that happens, we can figure out everything else after the fact. And they always say, sure, let's move forward. But before the convention or Ignyte, I wasn't doing that. Before talking to Jesse about simplifying it, I wasn't. I was just going into this big old spiel about how great this process is and all of these things like that. And they just kind of at the end would go, yeah, that all sounds good. Let me think about it. But I had nothing to go off of. So now that I broke it down and said, hey, get on Zoom, let me show you and build out your illustration for you. I've already done half the work right there. They see the numbers, and then it's easier to jump right into the application just like that. Now, what I'm about to say next may not be favorable to everybody on here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. F&G does not require you to put their banking information. You don't have to fill out a pack form when you're writing this one F&G. So for me, I use that to my advantage. Hey, I don't need your banking information. You're not going to pay anything today. Let's just get this application going. You might get approved tomorrow. It might take 2 weeks, but at least let's get that clock going. So for anyone who's weary about, oh, they're not going to go for it because they're not going to give me the banking information. Maybe go F&G. Right, because now you don't have to need it, but you can get them processed. And once they get approved, they don't have any problem filling out the pack form at that time and giving me their EFT form. So whoever's their bank, they're routing an account, right? So it's just an alternative. If you have some people who are like, say you're taking to America and they're like, I'm not giving you my bank information, well, move them over to F&G and write them in IUO with F&G if that's what's stopping you from moving forward. But ever since I started doing that, people just say yes, yes, yes. And so sometimes it's instant approval, sometimes it does take a week or two, but that's what I've been doing for that.
Okay,
So
that was like a training in itself. Like I'm like step one. Like I literally, guys, like if you didn't take notes, like I've been in the industry for 9 years. Like, okay, like I did. That's weird if you didn't. If you didn't and you text me like, what's the best thing to do? Like no, Vernon just told us the best way to approach an IUL. Like I don't think there's a better way. I really don't. And if there is, like I don't care. I don't like it. This is short, sweet, and to the point. It's like when we sit there and we talk about, it's like if we were selling a term policy, Vernon, and we're like, but just so you know, statistically, only 1% of them pay out. And we give all these different facts behind it that like we know because we're excited about it or because we're trying to kill term or whatever it is. But like Vernon said, like confused people don't make decisions. So Vernon was like, I learned to simplify my process. I've now simplified it and I got a lot more people moving forward with me. So I love that, Vernon. And I love how like the application part specifically, how you said, we're going to submit an application today on your behalf. You didn't ask. You didn't ask. You were just saying, this is what we're doing. You're going through your process. And guys, if some of us could just go through and not make it so salesy, like we'd be winning more, right?
And Vernon, quick question, Vernon. I'm hearing a lot of Lafayette Life and IBC. When you say like, hey, I'd rather go IBC versus IUL?
Okay, that's a great question, Rami. Ooh, look at that. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Good questions. So I know when to do that. It's a numbers thing. So I'm doing this so much that I've been running the numbers in my head. Anyone who's willing to pay more than $1,000 a month and has 10, 25, 50, $100,000 that they want to put down, it makes more sense to go with infinite banking because it allows them to get their money out after 15 days, but we'll say 30 days, they can start utilizing 60 to 90% of their cash. So whenever I have someone who wants to put down a chunk of money and they're going to pay at least $1,000 a month, then I go with infinite banking with Lafayette, however you want to pronounce their name. And then that's why I go that direction there. It's what they're willing to pay cash down. And then of course, at least $1,000 a month. And it's just a confidence thing, right? If you don't make it a big deal, they're not going to make it a big deal. Hey, look, I pay $1,000 a month for mine. I'm not going to tell you to get into anything I don't already have myself. And so for those of you who don't have an IUL, just do an illustration. $500 a month, $1,000 a month, maybe do both and just keep it in your database. And then when you talk to someone who has money, use that as an example. Hey, look, I have one. They don't know if you have one or not, but at least they're going to think you do because you did the illustration. So just act as if you have one and you're going to get a lot more people to go, well, he's got one or she's got one. I want one too, right? Everybody wants to be like the Jones. So that's what I do. It's all a numbers thing. $1,000 or less, I go IUL nice and simple because infinite banking is harder to explain. That's that next level. And so I don't want to make it too complicated if someone only has $500 to put in. Not saying that you can't put $500 into an infinite banking whole life or dividend paying whole life is what it really is. But if it's less than $1,000, it's just easier to go IUL. Everybody can Google it, YouTube, they know what IULs are. It makes more sense to the brain. But for those who are very financially savvy, who's been putting money away, they don't mind paying 1, 2, 3,000, 4,000 a month. I have a guy that's coming up, he's going to be doing 25,000 now, 5,000 a month. I'm setting that one up as we speak, right? So when there's that much money involved, I'd rather go with infinite banking so they can have access to 69% of that cash after 30 days. So that's how I do it. I just look at the number. The numbers tell me where to go. And that's why I tell Paul and whatnot all the time. I don't go into an appointment knowing where I'm going to go. I just go, hey, IUL is middle level. We can step up to the big leagues and do infinite banking, but I can drop down to final expense if I need to, which this morning you guys saw I posted, I think I did, I don't know what it was, 2,100 or something this morning. That was someone, he didn't have a good health background and whatnot. So I just dropped him. I said, hey, let's get you something in place to leave some money behind for your family. So we got him 40K with Americo, with accidental death, right, and whatnot. And so, but I didn't, oh, wait, we couldn't get you this. I literally just moved right into it as if he was almost getting the same thing. Hey, this is going to be accumulated cash. Because technically it is accumulating cash, right? And so I just moved him right down into it and just kept it moving, act like nothing happened, act like he didn't get denied for the IUL. I just kept it moving. And I jumped right back in and fill out that next application. So Raman, to answer your question, it's that $1,000 and lump sum determines if I go infinite banking or if I stay with IUL.
Appreciate you, Vernon. Thank you for answering that.
That was like a jam-packed, that was like a whole nother training, Vernon. So like that was awesome too. And guys, the illustration piece, like if you don't have an IUL, like I'm not mad at you, but like, you should rethink that a little bit. However, just like Vernon said, if you can use the illustration and show them like, I have what I'm showing you, like that's a powerful thing. When we were in the field, I used to bring my policies in the field with me because I wanted to make sure if I was pitching anything, I could be like, this is mine. Like, this is what I have, right? And it's like, that's a powerful place to be. Being able to build out the illustration, we're all capable of that, et cetera, et cetera. Please, when we get off this call, and I love all of you guys, please do not text me about getting Lafayette unless you're already working with clients at a heavy level. Please don't do it. I love you all, but like Lafayette is like, that means like, you're right, IUL's heavy. Like we understand why you need Lafayette. Like everybody on this call does not need Lafayette, so please don't do that to us. We love you. But the illustration, and then I love how you said, Vernon, because this is applicable, I think, to every appointment. The numbers tell me where to go. I don't know the numbers going into the appointment. Guys, we can game plan an appointment all day long. We could game plan it for 6 hours, but we don't even know, A, are they going to answer the phone? B, we don't know if their situation changed and they even told us the truth on that initial call. We probably don't know their health. We probably don't know a whole lot about them. So us shopping around 80 different companies and stressing ourselves out before we talk to Amber, who's 52 and has COPD at 6 o'clock tonight, isn't going to help anybody. Just like Vernon said, the numbers tell me where to go. I don't know where I'm going until I'm in an appointment. Guys, that's how it should be. That's how you're looking out for the client's best interest. And then the illustration thing, if you're not doing that, like that's really confusing. Guys, this was awesome. Vernon, thank you so much for that, because like you just taught me more things than I think I've learned in like the last month. So thank you. And last question I have for you. Being that you're always at the events, and Vernon, I love that because like you're just plugged in, you're there for yourself, but you're also there for your team, and I respect the heck out of that. Would you recommend, your teammates to be at the next event? If so, why or why not?
All right, I'm gonna have the crowd tell me the answer to this. Anyone on this call right now that has their camera on, who has issued over 20,000 issue paid in a month? Raise your hand. Out of all those people who raise their hand, who has not gone to an event? Exactly. Every one of you that's over 20K has gone to a conference or an Ignyte. So if you are not at 20K yet, you will be, and you're not going to conferences, then you may not ever get there, right? They say that most people who end up like leaving the business don't show up to events. So if you think it costs too much to fly to an event or drive to an event, then you're costing yourself. At the end of the day, I'm a professional. I go to these events because I'm a professional and I know that I want financial freedom for myself. and my family as well. And I want to help others, as many people as I can, do the same thing. But you got to go to these events. There's so many nuggets of information that we're learning at these events and rubbing elbows. And Daniel talked about that earlier. Paul talked about that earlier. Like, you have to go to these events. They're game changers. They are game changers. You're going to learn at least one thing that you can come back and implement into your business that is going to make the biggest difference. And it did for me already. Just from the time we did that, I don't know how many. Dude, like, if I look at it, I know I've submitted at least 50, 60,000 since that Ignyte event, right? And so there's something to it, right? And the only way to know is if you go to it and participate in it. So that's my take. So hopefully
I
that
love that.
answers
You said I'm a professional, right? Like, and also it's like the hand raise, guys, like that speaks volumes. Like, if you miss that, like, I'm gonna need you to like I don't know, watch the replay and like see, like, that's how it works, guys. Because when you're plugged in and you're moving like a professional with other professionals, that's a powerful place to be. So, Vernon, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you. And you shared way more than I anticipated, in the best way, by the way, like the best way. It wasn't like you were over, like, that was invaluable information. We need to change this like title to like, and how to simplify the IUL process, right? It's like,
100%.
that was awesome. So thank you.
Right. You're very welcome.
Awesome. And guys, we're going to wrap up, but does anybody have questions, comments, concerns? Please feel free to unmute. Yeah, Vernon did kill it. Vernon crushed it.
Hey,
All of y'all, though, crushed it.
I was gonna say, you could do this even for final expense. Like, if you just simplify the entire process, you can do, like,
Anybody have questions, comments, concerns? Please feel free to unmute.
the IUL process. I'm doing that all in a one call close now, right? Appointments booked. I'm getting on the phone. I'm trying to write an application before it ends, only because I trimmed the fat, and it allowed me to do that. Because you got to remember, you're probably not going to get them on the phone a second time. At least my luck hasn't been very good with that. So if I can get the application submitted on the first one, then everything else will work itself out. They're going to pick up again once they know that they're approved, right? And all that stuff. So keep that in.
No doubt. And it's like they gave you their social security number. Like, if I gave someone my social and my driver's license, I'm answering the phone. Like, I'm like, they got my social. I'm like, what's up?
Right.
Vernon, I got approved, right? So
100%.
love that.
And you're probably not talking to anybody else because they don't know if they got approved with you or not. So they're waiting, right? They're waiting for you to call them and let them know the good news. So
no doubt, no doubt.
thank you.